Well, hey, Becoming Me, I'm so excited to introduce you to my warrior friend, Emily. Emily, welcome to BecomingMeTV.
Hey, thank you so much.
So you guys, a fun fact about Emily, we literally live in the same town and we're video Skyping right now to share her story. But one of my favorite things is when I had moved back to Florida, Emily was one of my first friends. Her and her family just kind of welcomed me into their home. I've learned so many things about cooking, life in general, home DIY from Emily. And I just have a blast every time I'm with her, and she has a dynamic story. So I cannot wait for you guys to meet her today. And to just kick it off, like, Emily, who is Emily?
You've asked me that question, and that is something that I really have to think about, which seems so silly because it's myself. But that's not something I just kind of think about. So as I started thinking about it for this, I think some of the biggest things I thought of were just that my family, that is just one of the biggest things for me. My husband and I, we met as teenagers and we've been married for 7 years now. We've got 2 girls. Ella, she's about to be 3, which I just can't even believe. And then we have Paisley, who's 8 months. And I feel like I blinked because I just had her. And so my family is just really the biggest part of my life. I've been a stay-at-home mom ever since I had kids, and I'm slowly becoming a work-from-home mom. So home is just where we're at. And but some of the biggest things for me as I have just become who I am as an adult has been my hobbies, along with having children. Growing up, we moved a ton. So I never got super connected. I was kind of that girl in school when they asked what your hobbies were. Like, I literally didn't have any and was always like, I don't know. I feel like I should put something. I can't remember what I put. I'm sure I used to put something, but I literally didn't have any. So I've spent my adult years really just acquiring a bunch of hobbies. As you mentioned, Emily, I love to cook. I got super involved doing that over the last 10 years. And then when we bought our first home, I became DIY girl. My husband, Nick, likes to joke with me that I'm not Joanna Gaines just because I've watched Fixer Upper. But I seem to have the confidence I can do everything I've seen her do. So we've renovated most of our house all on a shoestring. We call Lowe's the $100 store because we literally can't walk in to buy a screw without spending $100.
That's awesome.
And then I got into building furniture after that too. So our whole house is furnished with stuff we've built, and I got super into fitness after having kids. So I just have kind of become the hobby girl.
I love it.
As I've become an adult, I'm just trying to make up for lost time as a kid, I guess. So I'm a bunch of hobbies, and then I'm my family, and I really do all those things all at once.
I love it. Literally, I feel like you're Superwoman, for real. Superwoman, Wonder Woman, all of it.
I'm really just the woman that needs to sleep, but it'll come.
Yes, it will. I think one of my first memories, we were like, let's get coffee or let's get lunch. And you had suggested, well, instead of going out to lunch, just come over and we'll make whatever we had. And I don't even remember what we made, but it was so much fun because I got to learn some of your recipes. And now we always joke, and literally, you guys, Emily just told me this before we push record. So at the time, every day I was eating salmon and salad, and salmon and salad. And so I was like, Emily, you've got to give me recipes other than salmon and salad. And so she did. And then now I'm still eating salmon and salad because it's healthy. But I those recipes for sure. So yeah, you're the best. It's amazing. Well, let's dive into your story because you have an incredible story, your journey of what's brought you to who Emily is today. So just unpack that for us.
Thanks. Yeah. So all of that I just shared about who I am is so much of it. But growing up, my parents actually got divorced when I was quite young. I was almost 3 when they got divorced, and we moved to Fort Lauderdale, where my parents had both been from. And from there, my parents got remarried, and we just moved around a lot. I think I moved, it was either 5 or 6 times I moved just before graduating high school. So through my childhood years, which is really why I didn't have those hobbies like I was talking about. I just never really, I think every time we started over, I was just focused on making some friends and not doing anything or getting in a sport or stuff. And we finally settled down in Bradenton, Florida. And I got involved at Bayside Community Church there. It's just an awesome local church. I got involved in high school in the youth group, and later ended up meeting my husband there. I was 17, he was 19, had just started college. We met, and it was just before I was going into ministry school. And the ministry school I was going to at Bayside at the time, you were not allowed to be dating when you were in it. So we literally met 6 weeks before, which was just so inconvenient. I mean, it was totally God's timing, but felt awful, like torture, because we were just like crazy in love after 6 weeks of knowing each other. And then it was like, hey, so I'll see you in a year. Like, I hope you want to wait around for me. And I mean, it was even like, I'm not kissing you before I do this, because I just feel like that would make this harder. And I never really imagined it would work out. And Nick waited. So this guy I knew for 6 weeks, he waited a whole year for me. And from there, our relationship just really took off. The next year of the ministry school I was in, I was able to date that year. So we dated through that year. I got hired on staff at the church that summer after I graduated my second year. And then Nick came to me and said, really feel like God's put it on my heart for me to go to ministry school now. So we literally started over, except now I worked for the school.
Oh my goodness.
Still couldn't date. So then we, kind of took our break again, and we went back, and he was in the ministry school then. So he did it for 2 years, and then we finally got married. So we had, like a really unstable relationship for 4 years leading up to our marriage. All because of ministry school. And he got hired on staff there too. We worked there for about a year. And from there, we moved to Orlando. We helped plant a church, which was just an incredible experience to survive while we were there, because, church plants aren't flowing with money.
Yeah.
We actually started a business. So my husband had pressure washed a few times with a friend with a business. And he came in, and I'm not like the risk taker or idea person in our family. That's all him. And he came home one day, and I was like, why don't we start a pressure washing business to pay our bills when we move? So that's what we did. So these, crazy people he had only pressure washed twice. I had never pressure washed. We started a pressure washing business when we moved to Orlando. And it was just going to be this small little do driveways kind of thing, and turned into this huge commercial pressure washing business that we ran together and had people working for us. And
wow.
God just blessed it, and it blew up. The church that we were part of was just incredibly blessed and successful too. So we just really saw God move in a lot of incredible ways in our time in Orlando. And then when it was time for that season to transition, he made it so clear to us and our pastor. It was just really neat to see the way he kind of brought all of us to the same page at the same time, even with our business. That really transitioned too. And then that brought us to Ocala, to Meadowbrook Church, where we've been. And when we made that move, I've just served alongside him and had our girls. But it's just been such a neat journey getting to where we're at. Starting our family has been one of the biggest things for me in my life, with just figuring out what I'm passionate about and growing in my confidence, and really figuring out who I am and who I want to be, as silly as that may sound, since I'm grown up already. But I feel like, you're becoming, we're always becoming. So as I'm continuing to become an adult here, I have just really changed over the last several years in ways I didn't expect. Becoming a mom was the biggest thing for me. I struggled with self-confidence, which I didn't realize this. I knew I struggled with self-confidence for years. I just didn't really know when it started. And I had my aunt, actually, I was spending some time with her a few years ago, and she shared this story with me that she thought actually was really adorable. And it really just broke my heart when I heard this. And I think it's just that difference in perspective. But when I was 4 years old, I was at their lake house with them, and I walked out in my swimsuit and grabbed my aunt and said, does this make my legs look fat? Oh. So I was this little 4-year-old girl who was concerned about her legs looking fat. So as my aunt shared that with me a few years ago, it was right before I had my first daughter. It just really messed with me. And I realized I have struggled with my self-image and insecurity since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And as a mom that was as a pregnant, emotional pregnant lady, about to have a little girl, it just really messed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to figure out, I know that there's a lot of things I can't protect my kids from, but how can I do the very best I can to help my daughter not become a 4-year-old that's worried about her legs looking fat in a swimsuit? And that was what really started my journey with fitness. For years, I had tried to get fit and tried to be healthier. And the things I had tried had been so extreme, I couldn't keep up with them. And I'd quit and be like, whatever, I'm good the way I am. I don't even care.
Yeah.
But having my daughter as my motivation just really changed that for me, because it was so much more than just a number on the scale or a pant size as my motivator for health and fitness. It was my daughter and not having her struggle with insecurities as a toddler.
Yeah.
So that really brought me to where I am. And over the last few years, a lot of the insecurities I had struggled with for years, I have just completely overcome. And God's just really used her as that purpose I needed to work through a lot of that and to work through a lot of hurts I've had from over the years with the self-image insecurities. And now that's just become something I'm so passionate about, because I want to raise my daughters to have healthy habits and a positive self-image. And I don't want them to get to being an adult and spend years trying to figure out how to change their lifestyle to be healthier or how to love themselves. And be okay and love who God made them to be, and not constantly compare to everybody else, because it's so exhausting. I spent years doing that. And it was over the silliest things. And not that I don't ever struggle with insecurity anymore. It's just really changed for me. One of the biggest things that I shared with my husband recently that was a really big milestone for me the last year was when I had my first daughter. It was really important to me to look really good when I was in labor, going to the hospital to have her. Like, got up, showered, did my hair, did my makeup. I was like, we're going to be taking pictures. Like, I need to look good. So then, but as I've worked through and God's just changed me so much with my self-confidence through those 2 years of having her. When it came time to have my second daughter, I was packing for the hospital and I was like super prioritized about packing my makeup. And then I realized, Emily, you are going to be having painful labor contractions. The top of your list should not be making sure your makeup bag ends up in the hospital bag. Like, really? So this time I crossed it off the list. Like, that thing was not coming with me. I went into labor, did not do my hair and makeup this time. I just suffered through the labor pain.
I love it.
And, same thing, knew we'd be taking pictures, but just decided, like, I'm good. Like, I'm having a baby. I don't need to look like we're having a photo shoot up in the hospital. Right. And so for me, that was really big, because I was someone who had spent so many years not wanting anyone to, like, see me without makeup. Even my husband, there was a time where it was like, ooh, wake up, my dark circles are bad. Let's pop some concealer on. Yeah, like, this is, like this was my insecurity. Like, it was just, and it was, to me now, like, it seems so silly, but it was so real to me. Absolutely. And it still is at moments. But so that decision with Paisley, when I had her, I just realized too, I can't change anything with Ella. She's going to see those, like, glamour shots of me all done up right after I've, had a baby. But with Paisley, I'm really excited that one day when my girls see those pictures, that they're going to see their mom that just went to the hospital to have a baby, not for a photo shoot. And for me, that was just so very important, that one day when they're about to have a baby, they won't look back at those pictures of me and think, oh, wow, I need to look like mom did, ready for a photo shoot. Now, if that's something they decide to do, that's their choice. But I just never wanted that pressure to be there for them, because that was a standard I set. So that was huge for me. And then that's just become part of, I think as I've changed, that's become part of who I am now, even with starting my business, Simply Fit Mom, I just make it a priority to try to be real and not get up and have hair and makeup done every day, because that's not real life for a
I
mom,
know.
especially with 2 kids.
I know.
Like I was showing you, Emily, before we got started, I've got one hand painted right now. Like, I tried, but somehow I've got one done. So that's real mom life. And I'm trying really hard to just create a business that in a lifestyle that encourages people to just be real and not feel like they have to live up to the standard of perfection. As a perfectionist, that's something I have tried to live up to my whole life, even though I know I can never make it.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's so exhausting.
Yes.
So I'm trying to throw in the towel on the perfectionism and just really grab a hold of reality and enjoy the ride with reality. And I'm trying to encourage other people to do the same. That decision of not being all done up for the hospital has flowed into who I am as a mom now. And with my business, I'll go out and run errands and don't have to be done up. And I'll post stories and pictures for Simply Fit Mom. And I mean, I've got a mop on my head because my hair hasn't been washed like all week, So it's just really neat to become a mom and have all of this change happen in my own life that I had strived for years and just had not been able to attain it. They were what I needed. God knew that. So that's been the biggest part of my becoming story. It's just my girls really pushing me to become who I've always wanted to be and who I really believe God had for me.
I love that. And I really like literally what you just said there, how they have pushed you to become who you always wanted to be. I got chills. I can't wait for Ella and Paisley to be like old enough to understand that statement and look back and be like, wow, like we influenced our mom at 3 and you said Paisley's 8 months. Yeah. Like that's huge. And how now you are going to continue to raise up these little warriors to become who God made them to be. Like, I love your story so much. So much. And if you were having our coffee this morning, if you were having coffee with another woman on her own becoming journey, like what would you say to encourage her?
Oh, so I think my biggest thing is just take off the standards that you feel like the world's put there and just really be who you feel like God's made you to be. Be confident and be you. I know that may sound super cheesy. And it also I know it sounds way easier to say it than it is to actually do it. But know that it's a process and it's a process that really takes a lot of intentionality because we live in this world that just sucks you in to other standards and trying to keep up. Something that I've done a ton is I just really detox from social stuff. I will completely delete. Well, now I have a business that uses a lot of Instagram, so I'll run my business account, but I don't use it for personal use. I think I haven't touched it since like January for personal use because I just got to the place where, if I'm being super honest and vulnerable, I got to the place where I felt like I couldn't look at Instagram without comparing my life to other people's with what they had and I didn't, or without judging other people. And I just really disliked who I was as I looked at other people's lives. Like there were some that I was able just to cheer on and be excited for, but I found so often it was that comparing and that judging. And that's just not who I wanted to be as a person. And I think, other people can use it differently. For me, that was just a struggle. So I removed it. So I'm just really big on whatever things you feel like are holding you back or slowing you down, just remove them. So don't keep those roadblocks in your life.
I love that.
Be confident. That's my biggest thing. And be intentional to put things in your life that build your confidence.
That's so good. I agree with you. This year I've actually done a totally different stance on Instagram because it's so true. You either get on there and there are like easy things to cheer on, but it's too easy to get into that trap and mindset of comparing yourself or judging. It's like,
Yeah.
I've made it a habit that like literally the second that an account makes me feel one of those, I like hide it or unfollow. And it's hard, but you've got to protect, because we're allowing that to come into our minds and our stories and impact who we are.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your new business, where people can connect with you,
Okay.
what it's all about.
So my new business is Simply Fit Mom, and my website is simplyfitmom.com. For just daily motivation, though, and some tips and recipes, you can follow me and my girls at the Simply Fit Mom on Instagram and Facebook. And my business is a membership for women. It's all about just really taking off the challenges that the fitness industry has put in our way to be healthy and fit. They've made it so complicated. And I think as just normal people, we're so uneducated that we just believe them.
Right,
And
absolutely.
how it is, I have learned that you do not have to eat like a rabbit, and you don't have to work out 6 days a week and spend an hour at the gym every day to get results.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing was, as a mom, I didn't have the time to work out like the fitness industry told me I did. And I didn't have the desire or motivation to eat like they were telling me to eat,
Yeah.
because I was a tired mom. Like sometimes I just need to have a cookie
Yeah.
and or need to pick up Chick-fil-A takeout for dinner.
Yes.
So I just really just buckled down. I spent years educating myself on fitness and nutrition. And then I got such incredible results after being postpartum both times. It's so much too that I just wish I had known before becoming a mom, because it would have made my life so much easier and more pleasant before. I wouldn't have been on this hamster wheel of fitness failure constantly. So I made this online membership for women where I share everything with them that has worked so incredible for me and got me the best results I've ever had with health and fitness. And then I've also created within that membership, I have an online community for everyone that's part of it, where we're able to encourage each other, hold each other accountable, cheer each other on, because let's be honest, most days you don't just wake up motivated. You
Not at
need
all.
to be motivated. So that's what I've created, because I want to bring this just this fitness and health success and energy and just that life change to other families, because my biggest motivation is obviously my girls. I want to set this example for them of a healthy lifestyle. So I'm really excited that this has allowed me to bring that to other moms and other families.
Oh, I love it. So cool. And it's so much fun to follow. I loved you shared this picture with a banana and elephant
Yes.
plugging your nose. And then like how you lived through. And it's so fun, you guys. Like, even if you're a mom, you're not a mom. You can definitely subscribe to this, because I even love what you
Yes.
just shared, like things you wish you would have known before you became a mom. And so,
Yes.
like, for people like me, okay, I might not have kids yet, but there's so many things that I can learn from Emily right now for this season that are still applicable. So everyone go follow Emily and subscribe.
Thank you. So
Business.
it's catered towards moms because I've got my kiddos in it,
Yeah.
but it seriously is all about women. Just
Yes.
being healthy and confident and the best you that you can be. So
Love it. I love it. And I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, Emily. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your story, just like who you are, who you're becoming. I know I'm inspired, and BecomingMe.tv is inspired. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for giving me a few years to figure it out.
Hey, I'm so glad. Like, literally, so basically, you guys, a couple years ago, I literally was like, Emily, you've got to share your story with BecomingMe.tv. And it probably at the time that we're recording this, it was a month ago, maybe give or take, that I get a text from Emily. She's like, I'm ready. Let's go. And so I was so excited. So yeah, thank you for sharing your story. And it's been fun to watch too over the last couple years since that first ask. Just everything you've continued to learn and discover, and this chapter of your story now. Like, just thank you for sharing it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.